Hey everyone, it's Miss M. As you can see, I'm on the final project page of the website and I'm going to go through the project directions and rubric with you. So you'll be conducting a numerical survey. You'll be creating a survey question and then carrying out your survey. You will use what you learn in this chapter to analyze the data. Ultimately, you will create a presentation displaying data statistically by conducting a survey and analyzing your findings. You will be presenting how your data is relevant to the real world. So anytime you need to refer back to the directions, you can find them on this page. Just open them up. All right, so surveys are conducted in all disciplines to uncover answers, conjure up discussions, make decisions, and compare results. Surveys are important because they are an unbiased approach. They're a way to get real feedback. Think about how being quarantined during COVID-19 is affecting your everyday life and how things aren't necessarily the same as they were before. It can be hard to be stuck inside all day long. Going outside and getting some fresh air with your family can be healthy and helpful. So, an example survey question could be, on average, how many minutes a day do you and your family spend outside? And the way this could relate to the real world or just you and your community is we can compare how people are feeling during the quarantine based on how often they get out of the house and spend time outside. We can encourage our family, friends, and community to spend time outside as a way to get a change of scenery, get exercise, and improve overall moods and feelings. So now it's your turn. How do surveys help us in the real world? So your task is to create a presentation displaying data statistically by conducting a survey and analyzing your findings. You will be presenting how your data is relevant to the real world. So the first thing you're going to be doing is choosing a topic and survey question. The important thing about your survey question is it has to the answer to it has to be a number. So you can't say, what's your favorite color? Because the answer is not a number. You also must make sure it is relevant to your life. So you have to be able to do what I just did and relate it back to the real world in some way. So once you have decided on your topic, and when it's time to complete task 1, we'll let you know when you have to do that. You have to get it approved before you move on to task 2. So don't move on until task 1 is approved when we get to that point. All right. Other examples of survey questions could be how many social media apps do you currently have on your phone? And how many extracurricular activities are involved both inside and outside of school? So you are not allowed to take our examples. You have to come up with your own. After you come up with your topic and survey question, task 2 is going to be creating your survey. So you're going to be filling out a Google form about your survey question and how you will conduct it, so how you're going to get your results of the survey. So when you're doing that, think about your population. And then task 3, creating your survey. Once you complete the Google form, you actually have to create the survey. You must survey 50 people. Your data has to be recorded and you have to have proof of it. I would suggest using a Google form or some other type of website that you can easily send emails or ask your friends to fill out. So you can be asking family, friends, people in our class, and of course the easiest way, especially since we're not in school right now, is to send it out through email or social media or online. Okay. Task 4 is organizing your data. Once you have surveyed all 50 people, you're going to have to find the mean, median, mode, 5-point summary, which you'll learn about later, range, interquartile range, mean, absolute deviation. So anything that doesn't sound familiar, we will be going over in the lessons. Task 5 is displaying your data. So you have to display your data using graphs and plots. You have to do a stem and leaf plot, have to do a box and whisker, have to do a dot plot. You must do a 4th graph or plot, but you can pick whatever you want. If you can't think of any, Google to see what types of graphs and plots are out there. All right, an example of how you can display them is a slideshow such as Prezi or Google Slides. You can do it on a poster, you can create a video, If you have any other things that you think might be a good idea, check in with us and we'll let you know if you can do it that way or not. Okay, task 6 is to analyze your data and reflect. You will be answering questions based on your findings, and we'll give that to you later in a Google Doc. Task 7 is the real world application. So how does your survey apply to your life and the real world? So you're going to write a paragraph describing how your survey and findings are relevant to the real world. We'll let you know when you have to do that. It'll be in a doc. Task 8 is your presentation. So you have to present your survey question, the analysis, and the real world application. Your presentation is going to include the question, the population, so who you surveyed, how you obtained your data, tasks 4 and 5, your analysis, so that's task 6, and the real world application, task 7. So basically, all of the above. And then the last thing you're going to do is going to be, as you go along in the project, is your critique and revision. So after each task, you're going to use the rubric, which I will show you in a minute, to critique, revise, and grade yourself. The goal of this is to be sure your final project is mathematically accurate and presentation ready. So let's take a look at the rubric now, and I'll explain that more. So in the final project page, here's the rubric, so open it up. Okay, and it brings you through each task. So first of all, I'll go through the task and then I'll explain the critique and reflection. Task 1 is you're choosing the topic and survey question. So to get a 5, it has to be a numerical answer and it has to be relevant. Task 2, to get a 5, you completed the form thinking about your population and sampling method. Task 3, you created an appropriate survey, you surveyed 50 people and you recorded the data. Task 4, all 7 data points are in the presentation, so bullet pointed here. Task 5, you did all 4 graphs, bullet pointed here. Task 6, you wrote 2 to 3 sentences for each question in your analysis. Task 7, you thoughtfully connected your project to the real world and you wrote at least 5 to 6 sentences as to why and how it's relevant. Task 8, you included the survey. Task 4, task 5, the analysis and real world application. You stated the population and how you got the data. The presentation was appropriate. All the materials were appropriate. And it was visibly pleasing and creative. Okay, and then task 9, you handed in this rubric, including thoughtful responses for each section, and you use full sentences. So what you're going to do with this is after you complete each task, come here and go back and see. So for example, task 1, look at the box 5. Does my survey question ensure a numerical answer and is it relevant to the real world? If yes, then I'm going to write in here, I give myself a 5 because, and then explain why. Okay, each of the tasks you have to do that. So once I get to task 5, when I think I'm done with it, I'm going to go back. Okay, in task 5, to get a 5, I have to display all 4 graphs and plots. So do I have a stem and leaf, a box and whisker, a dot plot, and another plot? If I do, great, I deserve a 5 because I included all 4 graphs and plots. If I didn't do that, do not just settle for, the 3, and say, oops, I forgot a graph, so I deserve a 3 because I only have 3 graphs. No, go back and add the extra graph so you can get the 5. But hopefully you got the point of critiquing yourself. So see, in task 6, did you use 2 to 3 sentences to answer each question? If so, then say, I deserve a 5 because I used 2 to 3 sentences to answer each question, etc. Okay, of course, if you have any other questions during the project, we are here to help you. But this is just setting it all up. You will be doing this in steps. We will tell you when to do each step, so don't worry about getting started yet. Just go back and take a look. Now you are on lesson 1, day 2. I believe you are going to start task 1. So go ahead and read the directions for task 1.